everybody, welcome back to Horse Stories. This is Captain Equine, and I am so sorry for missing the past couple weeks. I've been super busy, and yeah, I'm just sorry. I don't have any horse stories from the viewers this time, so if you have any horse stories you want to share, go ahead and comment them down below. So let's just get right into this the moment I figured out the story. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through sort of how I've been doing in the equine world, like what I've been doing going throughout it. So I started off just as a horse girl, a crazy horse girl who didn't have a horse, didn't ride horses, but absolutely wanted to so bad. My mom and dad had grown up in the country and had been around horses, well, my mom around horses and my dad around farm animals their entire lives. So whenever they moved away into the big city, they didn't want to ever go back. But I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and got a riding lesson for Christmas. That one riding lesson set off 7 years now of equine activities, though it didn't exactly stay the same. At first I was just lead lining, then I started doing a couple play days, then I got 4th place in play days, and I was just riding this pony who was just an all-arounder. He was very well behaved, even though he taught me he wasn't trained already, but he wasn't exactly going to murder me. A nice little in-between there. So I still have that pony today. And we were riding and all that stuff at playdays and doing events. And eventually I started focusing mainly on barrels. And I was still riding the pony at that time. We were riding barrels and doing all that stuff. Eventually I started sorta outgrowing the pony, and not in a way where my skill level outgrew him, not really in that way, but in the way where I was too tall for the pony. So my younger sister took the pony, and we've been sharing him for a little while, so I moved on to this horse named Loki. Y'all seen him in a couple of my videos. Just saying, going from a completely child-safe horse that wasn't really child-safe in the beginning, but again, wasn't going to try and murder me, to Loki, that was a huge change. He would crow hop every single time we got onto him. He would run uncontrollably. I had no control, and I was terrified for a year. Then I broke my ankle, and then I didn't want to, and that made everything so much worse. We took Loki to a vet, and turned out he has kissing spine and arthritis in his 2 front ankles. So he wasn't just doing that to be a jerk, as no horses would. He was doing it because he was in pain. So as I forgave him in my heart, and I still loved him, I didn't want to get on that horse. I felt bad for him because he was in pain every single time I rode. My skill level was not good enough for me to ride in a way where he wouldn't cause pain, and now it sort of is, but he just doesn't like riding, and we're working on that. But it just wasn't there back then, and I felt completely hopeless. I thought that we would probably have to get rid of him, or I would just not ride again. Then we moved out to a farm. We got Captain, so he was my backup for a little while, and I rode him for the rest of Playday. And Captain was originally for my dad, but due to Loki saying I would ride him a little bit on the playdays I didn't skip out of because they weren't fun anymore. They were scary. Then I broke my ankle. And I was in a wheelchair for a long, long time. In reality, 4 months, but it felt forever. And I was still feeling effects of it afterwards. Every single time I would ride, it would be painful. And then Captain got hurt, so I was back to Loki. Then we got Atlas. And Atlas was sweet. He was very rideable, basically a child-safe horse again, and he was very confidence building. I rode him bareback the second day I got him, and that says something because I was very, very scared of riding at that point, until I tried to load him in a trailer without my mom around. And my sister will tell me every single time, I told you not to, but he freaked out in the trailer because he's trailer shy, and he hurt me. Just a itsy bitsy bit. I got a bruise on my arm. It's not that bad. And nowadays I wouldn't be scared if that thing happened to me because I'd be okay, what happened? But back then I was still recovering from Loki, and here's this horse that I thought was safe, and he didn't seem safe to me anymore. So I refused to load him in a trailer, and I had a hard time getting on him again. So motivation for riding gone completely. And I started skipping play days. And not like, oh, I don't want to go to this one. I mean like, I went to 3 maybe in the entire season. Then I found this trainer that was very, like, so much better. She taught me a new way of riding that wasn't as aggressive, which the last one wasn't wrong necessarily, it was just different, it was old-fashioned. So she taught me this new way of carefully doing it, and I built my confidence completely. I felt good on top of my horse again, and I could ride. But my motivation was still not really there because of how long it was of me just not enjoying it very much. Until I watched a couple videos and my friend's mare was getting ready to have a foal. So I really, really wanted a baby horse at that point. And my parents at this point also knew where my motivation was at. So they were like, I'm not paying for this. You're not going to train him. You're not going to work with him. So I saved up the money. I spent 3 months working and saved up $500. Went in, looked online everywhere, just worked harder and harder and harder to get a baby horse because I really, really wanted it. And then I went and met Mac, got Mac, and met a new coach for positive reinforcement. And that's my current thing. I'm doing positive reinforcement with all 4 of my horses, though one's sort of iffy. The other 3 are definitely mine, but one's sort of like, sort of mine, sort of not mine. Wouldn't come with me if I moved out. That sort of deal. Anyways, that is the end of this podcast of horse stories. Bye!